Audrey Prosper is with Your Thrive Tribe. Welcomes to the stage, Audrey.
Thank you. I had this huge thing prepared, and then Abby got up here and just spoke from the heart, and I was like, I'm doing that.
Yes.
So, my name is Audrey May Prosper. Audrey May Prosper actually means the finest example of a thriving warrior. And for me, that sounds like a pretty awesome chick and somebody you'd like to know. But it also symbolizes a woman who was destined to face sort of a ton of adversity. And my real journey can be summed up in 4 different P's. And so the first P is pain. And pain is really this thing that sort of brings us to the end of ourselves in order for us to pursue our true destiny. And this is really true in my story. And so in 2009, my life literally went up in flames. And not only did I almost die, but I also sustained burns over 80% of my body. And this didn't just impact me physically, but it also impacted me emotionally, and it impacted me economically. So my sons and I, we faced homelessness multiple times. And not only did we face homelessness, but I was unable to work because I was disabled. I couldn't go back to school, and basically just incredibly grateful to be alive, right? And so there were a lot of times that I wanted to give up, but gratitude for life and determination to just press forward kept me constantly pursuing the next point on the path. And so pursuit is that second P. Pursuit is really about not just pursuing this optimal pinnacle point on your path, but it's about constantly pursuing the next relevant point on your path. And so in pursuing so, when I came home from the hospital, I started using my voice, and I started speaking out and advocating for survivors across the country who had also endured this physical violence that I had gone through. And so in doing so, sometimes my advocacy meant that I was sharing my story and the lessons that I had learned with people like Dr. Phil or Anderson Cooper. And other times it meant that I was coaching CEOs on how to build an organization and a team from the ground up. But nonetheless, as I carried on throughout this journey, that led me to purpose. And so after years of advocating, what I realized is that the Father was leading me in another direction. And that direction was that it was no longer just about success in our lives and advocating and being successful there, but it was now all of a sudden about souls. And so in doing that and in pursuing that constant next relevant point with Him, what I came to was this engagement that I was at in Virginia. And after speaking at that event, I came down off the platform, and this beautiful woman in her 80s approached me and said that she had a prophetic word to deliver to me. And that prophetic word was about me, again, not just being about success, but about souls. And so I jumped on a plane after that event, and on the plane, the Father then downloaded me with a vision and the mission for Your Thrive Tribe. And so what He showed me was that Your Thrive Tribe would become a faith-based women's network and academy designed specifically to educate, equip, and empower women to thrive in life, in career, and in Christ. And He also showed me that we would do this by providing them with training, tools, different resources, and this sort of supportive sisterhood that all of us women need in order to succeed. And so now having that mission, He showed me the vision. And what He showed me was 2 different things. The first thing He showed me is that women were desperate for tribe in our current culture. And while we're currently super connected on things like social media and Zoom and whatnot, we're also equally disconnected in our current culture. And so He showed me that we were never designed to do life alone. We were actually designed to live life in community. And so with this vision, He showed me that we needed tribe based on these 3 different C's, why women needed tribe. The first is that women needed to connect. They needed a safe space for them to be able to be seen, to be known, and to be loved in a group. He showed me that we needed to be able to collaborate. And that is because the sum of all of you, is greater than just one, me up here alone. The third thing He showed me is that women needed a space where they could celebrate each other. Like me celebrating you, Abby, because that was absolutely amazing. And the reason why is because life is really better together, and women were not designed to be competitors. We were actually designed to celebrate and cheer each other on. And so after that, he showed me that women truly deserve to thrive. And that in our current culture, he always shows me the current culture, we become so complacent with survival that we actually celebrate it. And survival is never a state that we're supposed to stay in, because it means that our anxiety is through the roof, our heart rate is racing, our blood pressure is raised, and we're constantly looking over our shoulders for the metaphorical saber-toothed tiger, leaving us unable to do things like grow or create. With that, he showed me the two vehicles that we would do this through. The first is a local women's network, designed specifically to give women that space to connect and learn how to thrive together. The second is a private membership app created specifically to break that economic barrier for women, that barrier that so many women face, to help them grow in their businesses and in their faith. The fourth P is passion. Thank you so much for letting me share my passion with all of you today. I've been speaking for 10 years. I still shake the whole time.
And you said you prepared a speech for what? Right?
The methodical brain that I have. Yes.
Tell us about some of the women that you help. How do you find them? And what do they usually come to you for?
Yeah, so marketing is a really interesting thing. I really believe that your vibe attracts your tribe. And so one of the things that's unique about our group is that we never want to grow to like 1,000 members. We're designed to grow to about 150 people, because that means that we're not an audience, we're literally a tribe. So we do that really just organically. If I'm having coffee and you mention to me you're an entrepreneur and I know it's something you need, then that's what happens. Or through the other women that are in the tribe that are inviting people to what they're already experiencing.
Will the tribe expand? You reach the 150, maybe you start another small tribe?
Yeah, so we have a franchise model. It's actually a free franchise model, so any woman who wants to launch a YTT, our acronym, in her local community, we're designing that model to give her basically YTT in a box so that she can do that in her own community for free. Yes?
So what does being a member look like?
Great, benefits and features, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, in essence, you're gonna have that space to connect, right? You're gonna have that space where you can celebrate and collaborate with other women. But I think really the greatest example of that is a couple of months ago, my brother passed. And I got to experience, tribe and what it's really like, because every single one of those women reached out to support me in their own way that they wanted to do that. And so that's really what they're experiencing. They're learning how to thrive in their business. We have something called Thrive Lessons. We also designed something called Connection Experiences. So when you come to our group, you're not going to be exchanging business cards or asking your name or what somebody does. We design those experiences to help them authentically connect in the room. Yes?
How often do you guys meet?
Great question. We gather the first Thursday of every month downtown at Stories at the Edge downtown. Yes?
Kind of a two-first. So the first one is, are all these women local?
Yes, so through the local network, yes, we are local. Through the membership app, it's a national platform.
Okay, and the second one is there a directory so that we are able to shop at these local stores or businesses?
So that's a question that is interesting. No, we don't have a directory. Our website is literally a landing page for our app.
So how would we be able to support these women as they're, within their business financially?
Phenomenal question again. What's your name?
Sean.
Sean, you ask great questions. So when that was all brought about, we never really thought about men shopping with us because we're specifically designed for women, but other women shopping with other women, and my business model doesn't work with men, but nonetheless, other women that do, like Samantha in the room who sells doTERRA, we don't have a directory of any kind, and I think it's really just about that one-on-one, again, that genuine connection versus just like the shotgun approach, if that makes sense. It's about investment in each individual woman and helping her learn how to grow her business.
That's awesome.
So obviously you have the Facebook group, the community, the app. Talk to us about just some of the things that you were saying as far as the support that you offer. You've got the different breakout sessions.
Thrive lessons.
Yes, there's lessons and things like that. What are some other things that you do just to help, as far as the app is, so we can get coached now? The different schools.
Yeah, so myself personally, I invest a lot of time and talent in different women. And so it really looks like me investing a lot of that time in an individual woman and then raising up those other leaders. We're brand new, right? This is our infancy. So raising up those other leaders in the community and through the app that can equally invest. So for example, through the app, we have mentors that are going to teach through that app. So the app actually launches December 1st, and I'm not the only teacher because I don't have all the answers in business, right? I do have a specialty, but not all of them. So those women are becoming educators and mentors in their specific area. And those women would be the women that they would reach out to help them additionally.
Gotcha. So there's no curriculum type thing, like here's what you get coming in our tribe and what we train you on. It's kind of whatever their needs actually are. Very customized, it sounds like.
Yeah, it is very customized. However, we've developed the 4 E's of entrepreneurship, which basically labels 4 different stages so that when they are looking for those trainings, they can go specifically to the stage that they're in because the app is forming a library of all of those trainings. Yes.
How long have you been around and how many women are part of your tribe?
Great question. So we launched in January of 2020, 3 months before COVID-19. In our local chapter, we have 15 women right now in our local chapter. We basically stopped growing once COVID happened, which is understandable because people don't want to be around people that they don't know in a pandemic, right? So we're giving ourselves the space and grace through 2021 to see a lot of that growth happen. Yes?
If somebody wants to get involved, how do they get involved?
Oh, fantastic question. Well, if you're interested in the app or learning anything else about what we're doing, you can text the word Thrive Tribe to 69922. 69922 Thrive Tribe. You can also go to our Facebook. Check us out there. Yes.
So, is the membership, or I'm sorry, the app or the networking group fee-based, membership-based? How does that work?
It is fee-based. So in order to join our local chapter, it's $35 a month, which is the equivalent of $420 a year. We offer different payment plans for that, but that also does include access to the app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the app is actually, again, breaking that economic barrier. A lot of entrepreneurs, as I'm sure a lot of you know in this room, when we're starting out, we don't have hundreds or thousands of dollars for coaches. And so the app is literally, on Android, it's $10 a month. And on Apple, it's a couple dollars more because, they take like 30%. So, but for $10 a month, you can have access to, different mentors, live trainings every Tuesday, and just a ton of information that also comes with application. So we don't want to just give them information overload, but we have weekly challenges, we have accountability, and so much more.
Can women come to your monthly meeting for free, and what happens at these monthly meetings?
So we don't meet, we actually gather.
Okay.
And they
Gatherings,
can,
right.
gatherings. And so, yes, they can purchase a ticket to one of our gatherings through Eventbrite. We're always posted through there. It's about $17 just to come in and check us out. Otherwise, we encourage them to make a decision within the first 3 months if they're going to actually become a member in the tribe or a sister in the tribe or not. And you said what happens at the gatherings? Yeah, so in essence, we actually open in prayer and devotional, bless you. And then we have the connection experience to help women connect. Last month we had an exercise about fear and women naming the fears that they had. And very emotional. We're always crying or laughing, one or the other or both. And then we normally have that Thrive lesson. We always break bread together, so your membership also includes your meal. So it's important to break bread. And then I'm trying to think of what else we do during those gatherings. Sometimes we have something called support seat, which is sort of like mastermind. We haven't had as many opportunities to do it now, but it's where a woman can basically express her challenge, and then the tribe can call back to her like much of you are doing right now, on how she can overcome that challenge. But it's normally biblically based, or it's not advice, but it's pointing her back to the Word. Yes?
So I love the idea of an app, not only for the economic barriers, but also time barriers, right?
Yeah.
It's a really good way for people to get connected without having to kind of step out sometimes. What was the inspiration behind creating that app and like building it?
Well, the first thing the father really told me to do was start a Facebook group. And then about a year in, he said, get off Facebook. And I was like, but you told me to do this though. And what I understood was that vision he gave me in the beginning is that we would have that private app. And so I think that when people step out of Facebook, I think they can then begin to understand that when I go into this specific app, it's so that I can learn how to thrive in life, career, in Christ. It's very intentional and it's not distracting the way that Facebook sometimes can be. So it's also, again, that safe space where it's just us that are a part of that tribe for them to grow and be vulnerable and develop. Yes.
So you launched 3 months before COVID. How have you guys pivoted because of COVID?
You know, pivoting is a great word. I think it's the word of the year.
Yeah.
Pivoting. I didn't see a need for us to pivot other than we hosted a couple of our gatherings online the first couple of months. But for me, I know the vision that he's given me, so I'm not going to pivot away from that until he tells me to, like, get off Facebook. And then I normally say, but why? And then a couple months later, I'm obedient. So, yeah, there was no real pivot. It just was about following whatever he's told me to do.
I get the impression that you're a big, hairy, audacious goal type of gal.
I am.
What is your big, hairy, audacious goal?
I'm so glad you asked that question. So yeah, I know that the place that he's taking us to is number one, to franchise across the country so that women all over can have that local tribe. And then number two is to develop into a shared women's workspace so that we can have more of that educational field where women can come in and learn sort of this linear path on how to become an entrepreneur in person. They can have someone on site. If they raise their hand and say, I don't know how to do this website point, can you help me? Someone can help them right then and there. And not only that, but through having that shared women's workspace, they're able to basically collaborate more and more. You're just being in community more and more and more rather than one time a month.
What impact do you want to make on women's lives?
I want women to understand that we were called to thrive. Jeremiah 29:11 says that he has plans to prosper us. And to prosper literally means to thrive. So we have to step outside of ourselves and into everything that he's calling us into and just be badasses all the way through. One more question.
Not to turn this into a gathering, but what was your biggest fear and what did you do to overcome it?
So yeah, last month what I said my fear is that I'm failing. It was a fear of failure because, you know, when you look around the room and you see 15 women, you know that so many more women first need it. We need those other women that are not there yet. And we can often look at success in numbers. But what he reminded me of just 2 weeks ago is that it's never about this. And it's never about numbers. It's always about souls. So 2 days ago, I launched a discipleship program and like 27 women signed up. So I'm like, oh, that's where the numbers are. I remember. So yeah, I think we can either be afraid of success or failure. I used to be afraid of success. Sometimes now I have to remind myself that there is no such thing as failure. It's just the next relevant point that you're pursuing. Good? Yes?
Woo.
Who wants to ask a super special secret question?
Oh, yeah.
Sean?
Yes.
How can we as a community in Colorado, business owners, entrepreneurs, and so forth, help you in your cause?
You know, for me right now, I really would love and have been praying for a female mentor that can pour into me the way that I have with others. That's here local, not someone that's, you know, virtual. And so I know that I need that. And the other thing I think is really just to continue to encourage people to find their tribe in the city. 1 million is not for everyone. The chamber is not for everyone. So really just letting women know that there's that option and to seek that out and not be afraid of COVID, just put your mask on.